Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
Okay. Let me check your attendance first. Okay, so let me call on to make sure if they're here or not. For those that I haven't called, I've already checked your attendance as present. So Miss Calero, are you here? Miss Calero? Miss Gavin, are you here? So Gavin's not here. Miss Juanico, are you here? Miss Pagnamitan? Miss Pagnamitan? Miss Pagunsan, are you here? Miss Palmes, also not here. Mr. Panizal, Panizal, not here. So for the others, you're marked as present. For those who know, anyone that I've called earlier, just let them know when they come in to just chat me. So let's start where we left off last time. So before that class, has everyone seen my announcement regarding the book?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So if I have a deadline that I need to pass names of those who are interested to buy on Thursday. So to those who haven't yet um set their intention to buy, please let me know so that I can um let the authors know that the book that you will be acquiring the book. So there will be a hard copy, and to those that will buy, I will also provide them with a soft copy for immediate reference while waiting for the hard copy to be furnished. All right. So please let me know within today or tomorrow if you're willing to buy. Just chat me here or chat me in our canvas. Anyways, class, do you have a group chat for this class? I care to ask.
Yes, sir.
Um, can you please add me so that I can announce or create one that is specific for this class only, PSPA 2103. So I can announce everything there. If you cannot access the canvas, I can announce there also. All right?
Excuse me, sir. Added ka na, sir. Just now.
Sige, thank you. Sige, so let's start from where we left off. I'll have a pause for the participation for now. We'll continue it on the second chapter. I'll keep track to those. Sige, Miss Manico. I'll keep track to those who have already participated so that I will not call you then this on the next participation until I have called everyone. All right. So let's start now. Okay, good afternoon. So we will be discussing, we left off last time on the certain business firms based on their nature, no? So merchandising, manufacturing, agriculture, and service concern, no? So after we've discussed the business firms, we will now discuss the nitty-gritty of accounting, generally accepted accounting principles. All right. So in general, with the generally accepted accounting principles represent the rules, procedures, practices, and standards followed in the preparation and presentation of financial statements. Noted, Ms. Pagnamitan. These principles have gained worldwide acceptance among practitioners and have substantial support of professional organizations and government authorities such as the SEC, Securities and Exchange Commission, Financial Executives of the Philippines or the FINEX, Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas or the BSP, Board of Accountancy, the one governing the accountancy profession, BOA, and other respectable members of financial community. So, in retrospect, generally accepted accounting principles is actually defined in is already defined or already understandable with its name. So it presents to us what are those generally accepted accounting principles when we record the books, and also it provides us with the guidance on the procedures and the rules and the standards to be followed in accounting. So that's the simple way to put generally accepted accounting principles. So with that, let's talk about the certain councils or associations or boards that is involved in setting up those generally accepted accounting principles and providing us with certain standards for a more clearer or direct form of accounting of business transactions. So, Financial Reporting Standards Council actually replaced the Accounting Standards Council. So the FRSC replaced the ASC as the accounting standard setting body. So the main function of the FRSC is to establish and improve accounting standards that will be generally accepted in the Philippines. So its scope is only limited to that in the Philippines. So FRSC is equal to the Philippines and it has replaced the ASC. No? FRSC was created by the PRC or our Professional Regulation Commission. Noted, Ms. Pagunsan. Wait. Okay. It was created by our Professional Regulation Commission. So it's not regulatory, it's regulation. Upon recommendation of the Board of Accountancy to assist the Board of Accountancy in carrying out its powers and functions provided under Republic Act 9298. So that Republic Act is very important because it's the Philippine Accountancy Act. No? Republic Act 9298. So meaning our Board of Accountancy delegated its powers and functions to the FRSC, and the FRSC will assist the Board of Accountancy in setting standards. So they're more focused on setting standards, while the BOA is more focused not only in setting standards and also regulating the accountancy profession. All right? So the FRSC, or the Financial Reporting Standards Council, is composed of 15 members with 3 years term and renewable for another term. So the 15 members comes from first the chair is composed by the chairman who has been or presently senior who has been a senior accounting practitioner, no? So there is only one chairman as senior accounting practitioner, and there are 14 representatives. So the representatives comes from the Board of Accountancy, the Securities and Exchange Commission, the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas, the Bureau of Internal Revenue, the Commission on Audit, major organizations of preparers or users of FS, so 1 for each, and 2 for each accredited national professional organizations of CPAs. So what are these accredited national professional organizations? It's in the public practice. These are the accountants that practice publicly, meaning they provide their services publicly. So to anyone. Commerce and industry, these are the accountants that is involved in private businesses. So it's the commerce and industry, such as banking, and also private institutions like big companies, SM, Robinsons, etc. As long as it's in the private industry. So for public practice, for the private, commerce and industry, academe or education, by the word itself, it is the CPAs that is involved in the education, or it is CPAs that are professors, no? So these are the CPAs involved in teaching. So they have a spot of 2 also. And lastly, the government. So any form of government CPA. So whether you are also from the BOA, the Securities and Exchange Commission, as long as you are in the government. But necessarily it is from other sectors. So again, there are 15 members, 3 years term klasa, 3 years, renewable for another term. So in total, they have 6 years. No? One chairman, a senior accounting practitioner, meaning it is practicing accounting for a long time. Senior na mo. No? And 1 from BOA, SEC, BSP, BIR, COA, and 2 for public practice, commerce and industry, academe or education, and the government. So accredited national professional organizations. No? So let's go to the second board that we are going to talk about, the IASB. So the IASB, or the International Accounting Standards Board, replaces the International Accounting Standards Committee. So actually, it's quite funny because the FRSC replaced the Accounting Standards Council, while the IASB replaced the International Accounting Standards Committee. So different lang, but in some order it's the same. So the IASB adopted the body of standards issued by the Internal Accounting Standards Council. No? This sorry, let me review the book if it's really internal. It's internal and not international. Internal Accounting Standards Council. So they adopted the body of standards issued. So it publishes its standards in a series of pronouncements called IFRS. So International Financial Reporting Standards. So this board or this council, actually this board is involved internationally, no? So for FRSC, Philippines, and IASB International. Okay? So let's go to the PICPA, or the Philippine Institute of Certified Public Accountants. The Philippine Institute of Certified Public Accountants, noted Ms. Calero, is a national organization of CPAs in the Philippines. Members of PICPA are often involved in the improvement of accounting standards in the Philippines. Under its umbrella are the different sectoral organizations, namely ACPAP, or the Association of Certified Public Accountants in Public Practice, GACPA, Government Association of Certified Public Accountants, ACPAC, Association of Certified Public Accountants in Commerce and Industry, and NACPAE, or National Association of Certified Public Accountants in Education. So actually, this is what these are the accredited associations nationally, meaning in the Philippines. So ACPAP is in the public practice, GACPA government, ACPAC commerce and industry or the private industry, and NACPAE is in the academe or education. So noted, Ms. Palmes. So these are the different sectoral organizations or accredited organization under the umbrella of the PICPA. So PICPA is a collective, and a specific organization is the four respective organizations. All right. So let's go to. So let me explain again. For the public practice, these are the ones working in or providing services to the public. These are usually the auditors of any private industry or any non-profit or for-profit industry. So meaning they offer their services publicly. So the most highest type of organization for the public practitioner or for a public practitioner is only a partnership. So they cannot make a corporation or a cooperative, because under the law, they are only allowed to make until or to practice their profession until or up to the point of a partnership organization. So for such partnership organizations, they are called the general professional partnerships. So they are professionals. No? For GACPA, these are the ones working in the BIR, BOA, SEC, and any other government agency that you know. So may it be the SWD, they have accountants as well. The Commission on Audit has, most specifically, has accountants because they audit each government agency. So all the government agencies are under, or all the accountants under any government agency is under the GACPA or is covered by the GACPA. So for the ACPA-C, so that is myself. I'm not part of the NACPA-E because I'm just a part-timer. No, I'm part of the ACPA-C, or as a certified public accountant in commerce industry. So I practice my profession privately with a company, Angelina's Bake Shop. No, and for the NACPA-E, these are full-time educators. They mainly focus or practice their profession by teaching or making other or molding other future CPAs, or even just teaching basic accountants to future government employees and lawyers like you. All right. So let's go to the different accounting principles. So we have 5 accounting principles. The first 3 are here. First is the cost principle. So the cost principle dictates that it requires all assets to be recorded initially at original acquisition cost. Meaning, so I'll share you an example. Just note this, class. For example, I have bought a car, no? I have bought a car for 500,000 pesos on January 2, 2022. And this car, the exact model, same car, is sold in Cebu for 480,000 pesos. So how much should I record such car? Anyone wants to participate even though there is no participation? Based on the cost principle, how much should I record such car? 500,000, I bought it for 500,000. It is also sold, or the same car, identical, is sold in Cebu or has a selling price in Cebu for 480,000. How much should I record it?
500,000, sir.
Yes, you're right. So 500,000. So it is recorded in how much I bought the car, not how much it is sold in other parts of the country, because I bought it at 500,000 and its original acquisition, meaning when I got it, it's 500,000. Thank you for participating. So again, so next, liability recognition principle. So liability, according to this principle, a liability is recognized when it is probable that an outflow of resources embodying economic benefits will be required for the settlement of a present obligation, and the amount of the obligation can be measured reliably. So under this principle, there are at least 3 events here, or 3 important notes. First is, wait, can I use a pointer? Let me see. Let me try. I think I can draw. Okay, I can draw. So the 3 main parts of this principle is a liability is recognized when it is probable. So meaning it should be probable. In terms of accounting, probable is determined when an event will occur for at least more than 50%. So, kumbaga, it is almost sure. Not sure, totally sure, but it is almost sure, probable, more than 50%, that an outflow of resources embodying economic benefits will be required for the settlement of a present obligation. So probable that an outflow. So actually it's part, the first, no, outflow of resources. So there is an outflow to settle a present obligation. So another is the present obligation. A present obligation means I have a liability. So may utang ako. And usually a present obligation is rooted from a past event. No? Past event. Pink ang color. Wow. So past event. So a present obligation is because I have an obligation because of a past event. For example, I bought the car for 500,000, but I only paid for 250,000. I already have the car, so meaning it is probable that I will pay it because I already have the car. And because of that acquisition, the past event, I have now a present obligation of 250,000. And the amount can be measured reliably. So this is the third one. So this is the first one, probable. The second is there is a present obligation. And the third is the measured, or the obligation can be measured reliably. So what do I mean by measured reliably? Again, for my example, I bought the car, I got the car for 500,000, but I only paid for 250,000. So to measure it reliably, I have a present obligation of 250,000. All right. So that is our liability recognition principle. So take note of these three very important points in a liability recognition principle. For an income recognition principle, income should be recognized when it is earned. What do we mean by earned? Do we mean it by, for example, in May 1, I decided to rent a space. And I already paid in advance for, in May 1, my friend want to rent my room, no? For 1 month. And he already paid me for 5,000 for 1 month. Is this 5,000, or can I record this 5,000 on May 1 as income? I already received it. Can I record it? Anyone?
Yes, sir.
So actually I
No,
cannot.
sir.
No,
I
sir.
cannot. Yes, thank you for participating. I cannot recognize it as income pa. I have to let the 30 days elapse. So on May 31, that's when I can recognize this 5,000 as my income, because he already rented the space for 1 month or 30 days, for example. Like kung 1 month, then April 1, depending on how you define it. No? So that's the third principle. I cannot recognize an income if it is received, but I can recognize if it is earned already. So another example, I already gave you, I sold to you my car. I already gave you my car, 500,000, but you haven't paid me yet. Can I recognize it? Yes. I can recognize it because I've already made my part of the agreement, which is giving you the car. So what's left is for you to pay me, or that is your liability na, to pay me that 500,000. All right? So let's go next. Oops. Sorry. Clear all my drones. Clear all drones. Okay. So next, let's go to the last two. Matching principle. So for matching principle, Oh, bumalik. For matching principle, all costs and expenses incurred in earning revenue should be reported in the same period. So what does this mean? 'Di ba, for example, when we sell merchandise, do we incur a cost? For example, if I'm a reseller of sneakers, I bought the sneakers for 5,000. No? I bought it. Then I sold it for 7,000. I gain a profit, no, 2,000. I can record this 7,000 immediately because I already sold it. When should I record the 5,000? For example, I sold it last May 1. When should I record the cost of buying the 5,000 pesos? The cost of the sneakers. I will record it on the same period. Actually, it's more specific, on the same date. Same date. No? So if I sold these sneakers for 7,000, I'll record it like this. I sold it for cash, for example, no? Cash and sales dash sneakers. Sorry for 7,000, 7K, 7K plus. When we're trying to journalize in the future, don't do it like me. I'm just doing it because I'm rushing. This is actually wrong. I'll teach you the proper recognition or the proper recording of journal entries as we go through it. Then I will record the cost of the sneakers. And I will record the sneakers, meaning the sneakers is gone. So, oops, 5K. 5K. Undo. 5K. 5K. So, these are both recorded on May 1. So, that's for the matching principles. All expenses and costs incurred in earning revenue, syempre, there's no pain. There's no gain when there is no pain. So when we gain something, we have a certain pain, such as a cost. No? So when we earn 2,000, we have a cost of 5,000 because we sold it for 7,000. So our 5,000 returned and another 2,000 is earned, right? So it is recorded on the same period, or to be more specific, same day. So let's go to accrual principle. The last one. Accrual accounting means that income is recognized when earned. So it's like income recognition, but there's an additional here. Regardless of when received and expense. So we're talking about income and expense na. So this is accrual. Is recognized when incurred, regardless of when paid. So incurred, meaning I've already benefited. After benefiting from it, from a certain service, I'm already liable. So I have already done a past event that has given me a certain present obligation. So for example, no, for the expense side, because on the income side, you already know it from my earlier example. So for the expense side, May 1, ako naman for example ang ma-rent. May 1, I am trying to rent for 30 days for 5,000 as the space of my friend. I have already paid it. Should I record it as an expense? Should I? On May 1? No, di
Yes,
ba?
sir.
Actually, it's no. Because I just paid it, but I haven't benefited from it yet. So the 30 days hasn't elapsed yet. So I can only record the expense on May 31. That is when the expense recognition will occur. Because I have already incurred, meaning I am somewhat, let's go to the definition well, I'm just searching it in Google to assist you guys. Sige, dire ko na lang i-search sa akon nga, do you call this Chrome? Oops. Google. So incurred. So new share. Let me share my Chrome, Google search, share here, incurred, become subject to something unpleasant or unwelcome as a result of one's behavior or action, or for example, a benefit. So meaning, it is somewhat negative in a sense, but it is not necessarily that negative, no? Because you have already benefited from it. So let's go back. For incurring an expense can only be recognized when it is incurred. All right? When I have already benefited from it. So that is it for accounting principles. So let's talk about the accountancy profession. I won't dive in deep. I'll just give you a brief knowledge of it, no? Because for sure, not every one of you will try to take, but not every one of you will take the CPA board exam because there are certain specifics that is needed, and one is to graduate in a accountancy course or have a certain amount of units. So the accountancy profession is a noble and prestigious profession. BOA is authorized by law to promulgate the rules and regulations affecting the practice of accountancy profession in the Philippines. So the Board of Accountancy is established with the help of the law, and it is authorized by law to make sure that the rules and regulations affecting the practice of accountancy profession is being followed, and it is also improved day to day. Accountancy profession has played a great part in nation building and development. No? So public accounting, accountants who render accounting services on a fee basis, engage in public accounting, public practice, private accounting, particularly in a business firm or a not-for-profit firm, as long as it is organized privately, such as any company. Government accounting, a large number of accountants are employed by the Commission of Audit, Bureau of Internal Revenue, local government units, or national government. So let's try this. Check the area where DCPAs practice their profession. I know you have the answer, so because of the PowerPoint that I have shared, but let's try to answer this. So accountant for Smart Corporation. The accountant of Smart Corporation practicing in the public, the private, or the government accounting? Everyone?
Private.
Private, sir.
Private, sir.
Right, private. No? How about the accountant in the BIR or Bureau of Internal
Public.
Revenue?
Government, sir.
Government, right.
Government accounting po.
Sisip, Gores, Velayo, and Co. This is a partnership.
Public.
Yes, public.
Public, sir.
This is the SGB. SGB. No? Accountants of a local government unit. Where?
Government, sir.
Government.
Nice. Commission on Audit.
Government.
Government.
Samsung Philippines.
Private.
Private. Are you all confident?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let's see. All right. Nice. So 6 out of 6, right? So let me clear all my drawings. Don't know the shortcut yet. I'll know it soon enough. So just a brief interview. Philippine Accountancy Act of 2004 defines a CPA as a person who holds a valid certificate of registration and a valid professional identification card issued by the Commission upon upon the recommendation by the board to those who have satisfactorily complied with all legal and professional requirements such as issuance, including in appropriate cases, have passed the CPA licensure examination. So you cannot be a CPA or a certified public accountant if you haven't passed the board exam. No? So RA 9298, this is known by heart of every accountant because without this there is no CPAs. No, Philippine Accountancy Act repealed, or meaning superseded the revised accountancy law, Presidential Decree number 692. So Presidential Decree, it was in martial law, I guess, because it was a presidential decree, and Republic Act is in the new constitution. Correct me if I'm wrong because you're the experts here, no? Section 14 of such act states that admission requirement of the CPA board exam, any person applying for examination shall establish the following requisites. So, can you guys take the board exam based on the requisites? Can you?
No, sir.
No. No, right now. Right now, you cannot because you are not a holder or a degree holder of Bachelor of Science in Accountancy confirmed by any school, college, academy, but you are a Filipino citizen and you have good moral character, no? So if you want to pursue the CPA, just have a Bachelor of Science in Accountancy degree, and you will have to study again certain major accounting lessons for also to assist you in passing the exam. So lastly, has not been convicted of any criminal offense involving moral turpitude. So scope of the CPA board examination, it is now 6 for previously 7. So 6 is advanced financial accounting and reporting, auditing, financial accounting and reporting, so advanced and the basic, no? Management advisory services, regulatory framework for business transactions, this is somewhat the law side of accounting, and taxation. So at what grade can you pass the licensure exam? So you have, or the candidate must obtain a general average of 75% with no lower grades than 65% in any given subject. So I just luckily passed because I have an average of 76%. So in the event a candidate, so si Republic Act 9298 believes on second chance, no? If the candidate cannot obtain the if the candidate can obtain a 75% grade in at least a majority of the subjects, so how much is a majority? How much is a majority? Half plus 1, right? So for a majority here, so you have to pass you have to have a 75% rating in at least 4 subjects, no? you will have a second chance to take the exam for those subjects that you haven't gotten the 75%. So for example, if you have a 75% average, but you have a subject that has only a grade of 64%, you are deemed not to pass. But you are in a conditional position or a second chance position if at least 4 of your subjects have a rating of 75%. All right? So so those that didn't reach the 75% mark, you will have to take it again. So if you haven't passed the second time, you are considered to fail the examination. Or if you haven't reached the majority rule and you haven't you have a grade of less than 65 for one subject, then you will be considered as fail. So you have to take everything again. No? Any candidate who fails in 2 complete certified public accountant board examination shall be disqualified from taking another set of examination unless he or she submits evidence to satisfaction of the board that he or she enrolled in and completed at least 24 units of subjects given in the licensure examination. So meaning, if you fail 2 times, it doesn't mean it's the end of the world. Unless you also don't have enough money. No? So you can fail 2 times. Just take a refresher course. That's what we call it. At least 24 units of the subject given in the licensure exam to take for another 2 chances. No? So for purposes of this act, the examination in which a candidate was conditioned together with the removal examination of the subject in which he or she failed shall be counted as one complete examination. So if you've gotten a condition, meaning you've gotten the second chance, you have 75% on the on majority of the subjects, yet you still haven't reached the supposed passing rate. So the the first exam that you have conditioned and the removal exam or the second chance exam is only considered as one complete examination. So you can take one more time again. But you also have to at least pass or condition yourself to have a second chance or to not take it anymore because you're a certified public accountant na. No? So the Board of Accountancy, again, is authorized by law to promulgate the rules and regulations affecting the practice of the accountancy profession in the Philippines. Sorry. The board is responsible for the preparation and grading of the CPA examination. This class, All right. So just bear with me while the dogs are barking. Now, there are so many of them. I'm sorry. So let's go with the international examinations. So certified public accounting examination is the locally provided examination, while we also have international examinations, meaning if you have these certain titles, you are internationally recognized, no? So certified management accountants, international examination that is given to financial managers, executives or analysts who have at least 3 years of managerial or supervisory experience. So you don't have to be a CPA, but you have to at least at least have a Bachelor of Accountancy degree, or even just managerial experience. I'm not totally sure, but I'm sure that this is costly because I once was interested in taking the exam, but it costs too much. I think it was at least 100,000. No? Certified accounting technicians, this is the cheaper one, I guess. The CAT qualification is designed to equip the students with all the necessary technical skills and basic knowledge required to fulfill a support role in accountancy. So for support staffs, or like for your management accounting, or the previous accounting technology, um, you can take this exam, certified accounting technicians, no? Certified bookkeeper and certified cost accountant. These are also for the support roles. It is now administered in the Philippines for qualified graduates after a review conducted by accredited organizations in the Philippines. So you need to review first in any accredited review organization in order for you to take this exam. So let's go to the 5 basic professional values and ethics, no? Number 1 is integrity. So for integrity, excuse me. Oh. Wait. So for integrity, it just means a certified public accountant should practice straightforwardness or honesty, right? So you have to be honest to maintain your integrity, no? Especially when you're dealing with your clients or your employers, or even in the government or in the academy. Next is objectivity. An accountant needs to have an objective eye. What is an objective eye? It is non-biased. No? It is not biased. It doesn't give favors to anyone. So it just decides based on the information at hand, no more, no less. So it should be objective. Professional competence and due care. Certified public accountant should maintain competence with the help of our required continuing professional development. So we need to make sure that we are always sharp in our knowledge in accounting, because as a CPA, we need to practice professional competence and also due care. We need to care about our opinions on or our advices. Because without due care, only competence, sometimes it can leave our clients at risk, no? Next is also confidentiality. Confidentiality, a CPA should practice. This is one of the important practices of a CPA, or one of the important basic professional values and ethics. Because a CPA, or even just involved in accounting, you deal with very confidential, or very you deal with money. And sometimes your employer doesn't want anyone to know. And they trust you that much that you won't be a marites, no? So you won't share anything. You won't talk about the money, the financial position of the company. So just don't be a marites if you're practicing if you're practicing accounting. All right? So be confidential. Keep all the secrets to yourself, and don't ever disclose it, meaning don't ever provide it openly unless you are said to do so, such in the court of law, and also with authority, or with given authority by your employer, no? And lastly, professional behavior. So it is not only applicable to an accountant, but also applicable to all professionals, is to behave professionally. So avoid any unprofessional behavior when dealing with clients and employers. All right. So integrity, honesty, objectivity, non-bias, competence, meaning you have to keep your knowledge sharp and you have to make sure that when you provide guidance to your clients, you act with due care. You make sure that that is the best option, even though sometimes it won't go as you expected it, but it's the best option when you provided advice. Confidentiality, don't be a marites. Don't share anything to anyone. Don't be open with anything you are handling, not only in accounting, but as a professional as well, no? Um, and that's why it's a basic professional. It's all all professionals are involved in this, and you have to maintain a professional behavior, right? So be serious when you have to be serious. That is one of the traits of being a professional. So treat work as work and fun as fun. So straightforward and honest, does not allow any bias, continuing duty to maintain professional knowledge and skill at the level required to ensure that a client or employee receives competent professional service based on current developments in practice, legislations, and techniques. Confidentiality should respect the confidentiality of information acquired as a result of professional and business relationships, should not disclose any such information to third parties without prior or specific authority unless there is a legal or professional right or duty to disclose. Confidential information acquired as a result of professional and business relationships should not be used for personal advantage. And professional behavior should comply with relevant laws, regulations, and should avoid any action that discredits them and their profession. No? So 644. Specialized accounting fields, general or financial accounting. This is concerned with the recording of transactions for an economic unit and the periodic preparation of reports. The established rules of accounting termed as generally accepted accounting principle are great importance to financial accountants. So financial accounting, it's the mere recording of transactions, preparing statements of financial position. So it's basic accounting work, right? Auditing, it is a field of activity involving an independent review of the accounting records. So meaning auditing is rechecking. So for example, a financial accountant does the job, uh, um, records the transactions, classifies it, summarize it, then it is provided to the auditors to make sure that there is no any fraudulent activities or anything wrong in recording. It is the GAAP is being followed. So the work of an auditor starts when the work of an accountant ends. No? So you have to take note of that. The work of an auditor starts when the work of an accountant ends. Management advisory services or management accounting has no precise coverage, but is used generally to refer to services to clients on matters of accounting, finance, business policies, procedures, and administration, and many other phases of business operations. So this is somewhat the quality side of accounting. So they employ historical data and estimated data in assisting management in daily operations and planning for future operations. So quantitative and qualitative informations are dealt in management advisory services. Tax accounting, preparation of tax returns, and determination of tax consequences of certain proposed business transactions. So the last three, so number 2, auditing. Number 3, management advisory services. And number 4, tax accounting is actually the main practice of a public practitioner. So usually a public practitioner does this, no? They do tax accounting with also the help of the tax accountant of an internal of the company, I mean. So tax accounting, public practice and commerce and industry, management advisory services or management accounting, public practice and commerce and industry as well. And auditing is only done in the public practice. So you cannot do auditing when you're in a commerce and industry because you will be biased in giving your opinion. Because in auditing, you provide your opinion on how the accounting is done. No? So usually we go to auditors, a public practitioner, right? Counting system, it is concerned with the design and the implementation of procedures for the accumulation of financial data. This is also a qualitative trait of accounting. It is more focused on the proper way or the proper procedure in getting financial data. All right. Government accounting deals with the principles and procedures associated with accounting for the national government. Accounting for education, I mean, or instruction. This deals with the education of students of accounting principles, methods, and their application. So what I am doing now is accounting education. Aside from teaching, accounting professors or instructors may engage in other fields of accounting activities. So I am that person as well. No, I'm more focused on the commerce and industry, but I'm a part-timer in the academy. Cost accounting emphasizes on determining and controlling the cost, particularly in manufacturing companies. No, not only determining what is the cost of this item and also controlling, meaning I don't want to produce a certain item for more than what it should cost. No, I should I find other alternatives to control the cost and make or interpret cost data for the use of management in controlling current operations and planning for the future. Right. So accounting is constructive in nature while auditing is analytical in nature. Accounting meaning you construct, you make the financial statements, while in auditing, you check. That's why you're analyzing the accounting or the financial statements. So for bookkeeping is the systematic and chronological recording of business transactions and events. So it is the procedural and is referred to as recording phase of accounting. So when we are recording, we are already bookkeeping. So the work of the bookkeeper is only until recording. While for accounting, it embraces bookkeeping because in accounting we record, no? But it also deals with principles and concept. So it deals with classifying, with summarizing, proper way to bookkeep, and it is not only concerned with the recording of data, but it is also concerned with the transformation of accounting data into reportable form, and it also analyzes and interprets it, no? So in bookkeeping, merely recording, accounting, recording, classifying, summarizing, and interpreting. Right? Liwat-liwat lang, no? So accounting assumption or postulates. So accounting assumptions are the basic notions or the fundamental premises on which the accounting process is based. Accounting assumption, checking the time, 6:51. So checking the remaining pages. So actually, this is the last slides. So accounting assumption serves as the foundation or bedrock of accounting in order to enhance the understanding and usefulness of the financial statements. So we have 4 of them. Now, going concern or continuity, economic entity or accounting entity, monetary unit, time period or periodicity. So there are 4 accounting assumptions or postulates. Going concern or continuity. In the absence or of evidence to the contrary, the accounting entity, meaning any form of business, is viewed to continue in operation indefinitely. So meaning, if there are no other evidences, every business will continue so on and so forth. Unless, for example, I'm a sole proprietor, I don't want to do this business the next year. So meaning, I will end my going concern. So I will not go anymore. I will not continue anymore because there is evidence that I will stop the next year. So the going concern the next year will be stopped. So it is assumed that the business is going to operate for an indefinite, meaning no definition period of time. So if my business is on a going concern, it's a sentence. If my business is on a going concern, it is expected to last indefinitely. Continue operation indefinite period of time. Economic entity or accounting entity. Under this assumption, the business is treated as a separate entity from that of its owners, managers, and employees who constitute the firm. So meaning, a business is treated as a separate entity. Meaning, what transaction a business does is different from what transaction a manager does. Or the personal transactions of any manager of owner is different from that of the transactions of the business. For example, um, I'm a manager and I want to eat out. I used my own money. Can I record it in my books of accounts in Angelina's Bake Shop? No, because there is an accounting entity assumption, meaning my expenses is mine alone as long as it's personal, and the business will not be involved or is a separate entity or a separate person from me. So accounting entity is the specific business organization. Oops. Accounting entity is an organizational unit for which financial and economic data are gathered and processed. A business is considered as an accounting entity and is therefore considered as a unit separate and distinct from that of its owner or owners. So, 'di ba may last time we talked about unlimited liability for the sole proprietor and the partnership, no? It is only the unlimited liability is only applicable when the business goes down. When the business closes and the money of the business is not enough to cover the debts or the liability of the business, the business owner, such as the sole proprietor and the partners, are liable personally. So that's when the accounting entity is or ends, no? When the business is dissolved or the business is gone. So when the business is gone and there is still liability left, so the owners, even though they are distinct and separate from the business, they are still liable because they are considered to have unlimited liability. No? Monetary unit. The monetary unit assumption requires entities to include in their accounting records only transaction data that can be measured in terms of money. So I can only record transaction if I can measure it reliably and record it in terms of money. So it should be measured and should be in terms of any form of currency. Not necessarily peso. But if I will report it in the Philippines, I should convert it. That's why we have conversion rates, right? When we are reporting it here in the Philippines. time periodicity or time period. Time period or periodicity. This is the concept behind the preparation of financial statements for a specified period of time. So usually, a basic accounting period is 12 months or 1 year, no? So an accounting period can be two. A calendar year, calendar, meaning the year starts on January and ends in December, and a fiscal year, a 12-month period that starts not in January. That's simple. So if my calendar year starts in January 1, it is if my time period starts in January 1 and is expected to end in December 31, it is considered to be a calendar year. But if it starts in any month aside from January, it is a fiscal year. As long as it's a 12-month period. So a time period is a 12-month period. All right? A natural business year is any 12-month period that ends when business activities are at their lowest point. No? So it does not sorry. So it does not mean that it is always a 12-month period, because sometimes when we have to close it immediately because we don't have any funds anymore to do business, we can end it in 3 years, 4 years, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, because we can't do business anymore and the business will be closed. So naturally, it is a 12-month period. So thank you, class, for listening. Are there any questions in the class?
None, sir.
None.
None so far, sir.
Okay. Wait lang. So, can you, to anyone that is interested again in the book, can you either message me or chat in, I'm already included in the group chat. Message me or chat in the group chat, or even post in the announcement if you're interested in the book, so I can give you a soft copy. So it's 400 pesos. A hard copy will be provided when it's available after it is printed. No? So please let me know until Thursday. And I will release the soft copies this Thursday or Friday, I mean. All right? So last, I guess we will have a short quiz sa next meeting. Monday, right? So, yes? Is anyone raising their hand?
Yes, sir. I just want to clarify, sir, sa aton nga exam bala, sir, ang coverage,
Ah.
sir. Short
Chapter
quiz
1.
rather. Chapter 1, sir.
Chapter 1 only. I won't do more or less. Okay? It's all based on ano. So I'll try to post the recordings again. Just raw recordings of the Zoom so that you can review, and the PowerPoint is also available there. I guess there are also notes. There are also notes, some notes in the PowerPoint, if I'm right. Yep. There are also notes in the PowerPoint. So that's all for now. It's just a short quiz. So to anyone that came in late, so let me know, please. For the other ones, and if you don't have any more questions, you can go. May question pa?
Sir, good. Gavin, sir, present.
Sige, sige.
Sige, sir. Thank
Ted.
Sir, good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Panizal, sir, present, sir.
Panizal,
Christopher Jet, sir.
Gavin. Okay. May nag-chat man also. So I'll review the chat. Okay na. Palmes present. Pagnamitan present.
Calero, sir, present.
Calero present. Pagunsan present.
Yes, sir. I'm here present po. Good evening.
Juanico,
Okay.
sir, present. Man, sir.
Who?
Juanico.
Okay na. Complete attendance for today. So
Thank you, sir.
congratulations.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
sir.
See you sa Wednesday.
Thank you, sir.
Monday, I mean. So I
Thank you,
think
sir.
we can start at 6 p.m. next Monday. Just 15 minutes, I guess, na
Excuse me,
exam.
sir. Sa Canvas, sir, sir, quiz or
Sa Canvas lang?
Okay, thank you, sir.
Sa Canvas lang. Okay, thank you. Bye.
Thank you, sir. Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir. Bye.
Thank you and goodbye, sir.
Bye, sir.
Bye.
Sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Next class, patugurong yung mga sadlaan. Miss Apachicha.